right, and today on the Radical Fabulatorium, I am joined by Matt from the Planet Smashers / Stomp Records. Planet Smashers released their 10th full-length record on August 22nd, of course on Stomp Records because Matt owns the label. The album's called On the Dancefloor. It's got a lot of fun, groovy, boppy tunes. We talk a bit about that. We talk a bit about the production. We also get into the business side of things, which is cool, talking about factor grants and how bands starting out can access those funds and kind of what it means to the industry and how it can be extremely helpful when you're getting going because Canada is a big country. Gas is expensive, as we all know. And yeah, so it was a great chat. So let's just hit play on it. Here we go. My conversation with Matt from the Planet Smashers. All right. Hey, Matt, thanks a lot for coming on the Radical Fabulatorium today. Appreciate you giving me some of your time.
No, I'm super happy to be here. It's great, man. Thanks for doing this. It's super cool.
Yeah, no problem. Big day, right? So you got the new album out, of course, on the Dancefloor, came out in August. But I think tickets are going on sale today for the Stomp 30th anniversary shows.
They just went live and I realized I didn't have a post ready. So I'm going to do it right after this.
Yeah. Okay. Do you need to do that now? Yeah.
I totally that's why I was like, I'm going to be a couple minutes late.
Yeah.
But, I was like, oh man, I got to make this better. I was just going to shoot something up, but I got to make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's pretty exciting. I was checking out the lineups and the dates. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's going to be a really fun series. I mean, we're doing 4 shows up in Montreal. There's shows across Canada too. There's one in Vancouver, one in Calgary, one in Toronto, one in Ottawa. But this one's, these are the 4. We're getting every band we can that can possibly make it up to Montreal to play. Mm-hmm. And we're bringing alumni band, Flatliners back to join us again because, they were a big part of the label when in the early 2000s. We did 2 records with them. So it'd be really great to have them at the party. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. And they're one of the bands that have come out east. So I kind of have like a special place in my heart for the Flatliners. I know you guys have been out east. Belvedere have been out east. So some of those Stomp bands have come out east. So that kind of means a lot to us out here in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia,
It's great. I mean, we got some of the younger ones going out. A band called Fake Friends. They've been going out a fair bit. They're going to have a new release. Actually, it's now been pushed back to early next year. Super cool. And then a couple other bands have been making it out there too. Hopefully we'll get more going out. Wine Lips really want to come out. But I'm like, guys, I don't know, man.
Well, the thing about Wine Lips is like that vibe that Wine Lips has. There's kind of a vibe like that building here. Like
nice.
There's a band here called Nate and the Busy Boys. There's a band called Dad Patrol.
I heard of Dad Patrol.
Have you heard? Yeah, Absolute Losers. Yeah. They're from Prince Edward Island.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
That could be cool. I mean, Windups are like they're doing really well across the world, but they still love playing new places. Like it's really important for them. Like they go all over the place. So I'll run that by them, see if they want to do it.
Yeah, try to get on the festival Area 506. I don't know if you've heard of that festival in St. John.
506. I don't think I have. Where's that?
It's in St. John on the waterfront. So they do concerts every summer, every weekend, but then they build up to a big fest. Like this year it was Alexis on Fire was headlining. It's like a 3-day fest.
Cow, it's big.
Yeah, and they've had Interpol and they've had a bunch of cool bands come through, and it's kind of a thriving scene on its own. Area 506.
Okay, well I'm gonna hit them up because that'd be perfect for Wine Lips, man.
Yeah,
hey, man, maybe get the Smashers on that too.
Absolutely, yeah. The founder's name is Ray. I'll send him a message. I'll send him a text after. Be like, hey,
right on, cool. Thanks.
Matt's email. Okay, let's talk about the record a little bit. So on the Dancefloor, 10th record, right? 10th record by the Flatliners? Or the Flatliners, the Planet
Smashers. Also known as, Yeah, it's our 10th album. And we're really excited about it. It's going really well so far. We just got back from a run in the States and surprisingly people knew the songs, which was really cool to see. And they were singing along and asking for songs that we didn't play, but you know how it is.
Yeah. You got a lot in the catalog.
Yeah, we were supporting Mustard Plug. Direct support to Mustard Plug. So we only had like 45 minutes. So you got to play at least, we played 4 of 13 from the new album, of songs there. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Pretty good.
That's not bad. I just want to point out Torpedo, the song Torpedo, when that drum fill kicks in the last chorus, kind of out of nowhere.
Yep.
That's just such a fantastic drum fill.
Scotty, he really wanted that drum fill. And I was like, okay, that's cool, man. Why not? Put it there. Do it. That song's a good one. I mean, that was a bit of a sleeper for the band, but then it got really, really strong at the end. And in ways it kind of, when this album was written, the devastation in Gaza that's happened hadn't fully happened. And sadly it did, but the song is effectively about protesting and standing up for human rights and what's right, you know. Mm-hmm. Through COVID, protesting became kind of like a bad thing, you know. It was like, well, you know, we gotta, you know what I mean. It was a weird time. And for me, protest was so important when I was younger because it was, you know, it's a big part of democracy. It's a big part of change. When representation, when the government isn't representing you, it's a good way to get the word out. And I felt like it kind of became a bad word. So I want that back. I want to take back protest. And I think we have, you know, like it definitely has changed. And just the way media twists it and the media, you know, the message gets lost. Mm-hmm. And it's no longer about the protest. It's just about the 5 cars got burnt and a store got kicked in, and the message is lost. So I mean, that's annoying.
And it's kind of like protest is kind of in the Montreal DNA, right? Like I was living in Montreal at the time of the big student protests back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, the pots banging down the streets.
yeah. Swarming the buses. Yeah, kind of, well, not swarming, not, you know, just walking up the streets.
Crowding. Yeah.
So
there was no violence in that.
No
that
violence,
was
no violence.
Very good protest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, and that's it, you know, like that message didn't really get lost, but there's other ones where it's just like, okay, this just became a media sensation and not, you know, and the cops are a little overzealous and things like that. But Montreal is definitely into protesting.
For sure. Maybe,
I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun city. Maybe back to the record just a little bit, because the song that I think it might be my favorite song right now is "Easy Like I Do."
I love this song, man.
Which is kind of like a nice way to end the record.
Yeah, we wanted to have something like, if you listen to the old Specials albums, there's always like, well, not always. There's, you know, they have "You're Wondering Now," which is a lovely end track, and we wanted something like that. It's not the same, nowhere near, but we tried to get into that vein. And it's pretty cool. Backups are by Neville Staple from the Specials. It's not credited the same way, but he's singing there. His wife, Sugary Staple, is singing on it. And also Ike from the Selector, the original drummer, is actually singing backup too. And you can hear him quite prominently. That deeper voice is his. Cool. And that was cool, getting those old guys on the album. It made it feel more two-tone, more, I guess you could say legitimate, and just it helped the song because it is more of an old school sounding tune. It made the band a bit more, you know, a bit more sincere, and the message was a bit more direct, I think. So It's a nice song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. And like I said, it's a great way to end the record. I mean, the record's pretty high energy throughout. Not that song is that much of a step down, but it's a little chiller, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely, for us, that's pretty chill.
I like how you get to the chorus quickly a lot, and you know that's kind of nice, just like right to the chorus, right to the chanty kind of catchy part, which makes the record feel like really fun, of course, which is kind of what people would expect. But I also like thinking about the production, like a lot of it's up the middle. So it feels like in headphones, like it's a nice listen in headphones because you kind of get this direct energy. But then there's a little bit of room for like effects. Like there's that one tune, I think, is it Things You Do, where like it's like ping pong. The horns are kind of ping ponging a little bit.
Yeah, and he shoots the delay around a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the seasoned engineer. His name's Raj Shear. He's done Mighty with us and also Unstoppable. So it was nice to get back to work with him again. He's very, very experienced. And the reason why we stopped working with him is because we couldn't afford him. But then he's like, I want to do another record with you. I'm like, we can't afford you, man. He's like, I don't care. So we did it anyway, which was really great to have him back at the helm. And he brought in a Maritimer on it. It's Sarah from Brand Van 3000. She sings on Falling. She is the high-pitched girl voice on Falling in the chorus, which was super cool. We didn't even get to meet her because she lives in Halifax. I think she has a coffee shop somewhere out there. I don't know if it's in Halifax or nearby. But getting her on it also brought a little, because when we started, Brand Van 3000 was huge in Montreal. They were like massive. And we're like, wow, they took off. We didn't.
Drinking in LA. I mean, that song was like everywhere.
It was worldwide smash hit.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, it doesn't really matter. But they were part of the scene. I mean, the horn section was part of the band called One, which was a ska reggae band at the time. So we knew those guys. We had toured with them. And I remember the trombone player saying, like, yeah, it's really amazing. The band is so green, they don't even know what monitors are.
Wow. So that's interesting when a band can, I don't want to say stumble, but like find success that quickly when maybe they're not.
Well, I mean, they wrote a hit. They wrote a veritable, undeniable hit. So it's kind of like, and at the time, the record company was much stronger and the industry was much more tight. And, if you were a major label, you would go to the radio stations and you would get it played. And it wasn't a question. It was just, it would happen. Those days are kind of over. It's much more, I don't know what you want to call it. You could call it organic, but the industry is still dominated by California, but it's a bit more easier to break, I would say, as an independent.
Okay.
Maybe not with the same massive results, but you can definitely make a career out of it. It's kind of hard though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So just, if you don't mind talking about the business side of things a little bit, because my other day job is with Music New Brunswick.
Oh, right on.
I oversee the program that does like the investments for like recording and touring and showcases.
Fantastic. Way to go.
So we've had bands who, and I heard you mention it on a podcast with Cone from Sum 41 about like P2, P1, O1.
Oh yeah.
Factor applications, and also getting denied. We had an artist too, an up and coming artist, Josh Brown, the Hypochondriacs is what they go by.
Okay,
they got turned away at the border because their visas didn't, they canceled their tour because the visas didn't come in quick enough.
Yep. Yeah, it's a thing right now, and it's probably even worse with the new shutdown. I was about to apply for new permits for the Smashers because we have offers in April, and that seems like a long time away. But the Real Mackenzies, those guys applied in February. I got an email a week ago asking for more information about their sound tech.
Okay.
Like, oh, great. And I just wrote back saying, hey, we canceled everything. Promoters were losing money. Yeah. The band was already out a bunch. I didn't want anyone else to get pissed, so we canceled everything. One of the biggest punk rock festivals in America right now is called Punk in the Park. They won't book an international artist without approved work permits prior. So that's tough because to get on Punk in the Park, you need to, like it'd be good if they were, it's just a tricky situation. It's one of those eggs and catch-22 thing. So it's really hard to play down there. And it's also, the environment's interesting. I mean, I would say it's a little like we were down there in April, and then we went back again just now. When we were in April, everyone was apologizing and felt pretty sad and a little confused by what was going on. Now they're pissed. Mm-hmm. Like the non-Republican side, whatever that is, the rest of the country is pissed. I mean, it was kind of scary, man. Like everyone had knives on them. Everyone was ready to go, man. They were ready to go. So I don't know where that's heading. That's an interesting dynamic too. Still felt safe. It's just that the people were angry.
Okay.
At each other, and it's sad to see. But
I kind of heard the same thing from like Luke from the Dirty Nil. Like they were playing some shows down there, and it's the same thing. When they were at the shows, everyone was chill, everyone's having a good time, everyone seems happy. But then when you zoom out, the bigger picture is like confusing everyone and making folks scared to cross the border.
It is. We played Buffalo, and normally when we play Buffalo, we got a lot of people coming down from Toronto. Nobody from Ontario. When we crossed the border, there was one other car. There was like 15 lanes, one car and us. Two of them were open. One was for trucks and one was for cars. So, but we got in no problem. We have permits. So, and we're white. So that was definitely easier. I mean, that is as true as it gets. Right now, American bands with anyone with the green card, they're not even coming out of the country anymore. They're staying in the country. They don't want to risk it,
mm-hmm.
And it sucks, but racial profiling, bias on whatever you want to call it, gender, all that stuff. It's just, it's real. It's so messed up. Mm-hmm. We've returned to the 1950s.
Yeah.
Which, for a lot of people, I believe they think that was the golden era. Well, it wasn't. It was mm-hmm. absolutely a totally bigoted, racist, privileged era.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's only a golden era if you cherry pick the moments you wanted.
Yeah, like going to the drive-ins was fun, man. That was good. Burgers and
soda jerks.
Yeah. There's a romantic side of that. That is fun. That is attractive. That I like. Uh-huh. But, when you come down to it, we're just like, a mainstream bullying everywhere you went.
Yeah.
Unneeded.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a bummer talk.
Yeah, that's just reality. But yeah, back to, you can throw on the new record to kind of like Get out of the doom scrolling, just dance around, have a good time.
That's it. Like I said, there are some socially conscious songs on the album, but it's mainly about having fun. And even when we talk about our social conscious stuff, it's mainly a personal sort of view on it. It's not preachy. So even that's kind of fun too, because everyone's sort of feeling it. But like Meet Me on the Dance Floor is just a ridiculous pop song, and it was inspired. We played Supernova it was just a Virginia Ska Fest in September last year, and then we played the Fest in Gainesville, which is in October, and I saw the same people in the crowd and the same sort of reactions where they would just be dancing, they'd look up and they'd see the other person, they'd just give them a hug. And so I asked some people after the show, I was like, hey man, do you guys know each other? Are you guys friends? I actually think I might have said it on the microphone. I can't really remember. I think I did. And I was like, do you only know each other in the pit? And they're like, yeah. I was like, that's so awesome. I love it, man. You became festival pals, pit pals, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And now you go to these shows and you look for these strangers that you kind of know, maybe you know some of their names. You don't know what they do. You don't know what, but they like dancing. So it's kind of awesome. It's the universal language. It plows through all the bullshit and gets straight to, what most people want to do, which is enjoy life.
Yeah.
Different views on that. So I'm down with that, man. That's great.
And that's kind of what led to the album title and song title, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. We shot some ideas around. We're like, well, what if we call it, I want to be an alien or take me to outer space. And we're like, it's too spacey. It's too Planet Smashers. So we switched and we went with On the Dance Floor. And now we have a T-shirt about wanting to be an alien. So we can't get too far away from it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
Okay. Can we shout out the artwork? Maybe who did the artwork for the album? Because it's kind of like a fun little Where's Waldo type adventure,
He's so good. It's this awesome guy. He's super nice. He's super approachable, lovely person. But his pen name is Scorpion Dagger.
Nice.
Scorpion Dagger. But seriously, check it out on Instagram. His stuff is, if it's not brilliant, it's totally amusing. And through the simplicity, he comments on so much stuff. Uh-huh. And he's combining sort of, I don't even really know what kind of art that is. I don't know what you call that, but somewhat gothic. I don't really know,
I wouldn't know the word either, but
it mixed in with, but it's super clever. He sneaks a lot of things in. If you have the vinyl, it's great because you can pull it open and each panel, he redoes the main panel on every side, but there's different characters and it's different time of day. And it's really cool. Like people disappear and other ones appear. He also did some canvases on Spotify for 3 of the songs.
Cool. And
those are pretty good too, especially Wasted Tomorrows. Just watch the canvas. It's funny. There's like a night that vomits all over the place. And like, it's just chaos. It's great. I really hope people take a look at that closer and appreciate all the effort he put into it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and I appreciate that you press CDs. I come from the CD era. I'm still into CDs, so I appreciate that some bands are still putting out CDs because I got a car with a CD player still. So,
well, that's why we make them, but it's starting to disappear. But recently, we signed a new band. They're 16. They're called General Chaos. They're going to put out the album next year. Super cool, sort of rancid skate punk. And I was like, I guess we'll just make vinyl because none of your friends drive. Why are we making CDs? No, man, CDs are more important. I'm like, why? He's like, for the PlayStation. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You pop it in there and you can listen to what you want to and stuff, import some songs and stuff like that. So that was an interesting take for me. I'm like, oh boy, old man over here doesn't know.
Well, the used record shops here, all their CDs disappeared. And then over the last 3 to 5 years, the selection's growing back and up, back and back and back.
And there's another cool thing. There's a whole chunk of my catalog on CDs that you can't stream for various reasons. Whatever the label lost the rights, or the band never thought about it, or they don't care, they hate each other. So there's a bunch of not tons, but a good chunk of CDs that I can only find there. And I actually, I'm glad I kept them. I was going to throw them out, but I kept them.
That's awesome.
They're still collecting a lot of dust, but there's still some cool stuff in there,
Yeah. Well, I've been ripping some of the local bands here on CDs because CDs are starting to fail. So anyone out there with CDRs or burnt CDs, they're starting to degrade where they can't be read by lasers. So luckily we have fancier CD players here for radio quality. So they read a little more precise. Anyway, all that to say is we've been backing up all the local local bands that we can,
good.
and hopefully get them on YouTube or something, just to have them out there.
Even just to have an archive is important. You could put that up on Bandcamp or something.
Absolutely.
That'd be kind of cool. Just be like, Music New Brunswick archive of, the songs that you thought were gone. The Boneyard. I don't know.
The Boneyard. Cool. Yeah.
Well, people just skip through it.
Every once in a while, there might only be like 40 views on an album, but someone will comment like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I came across this local band that I saw them when I was 18. I'd never heard of them again, and here they are." So,
and there's an importance to that, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, I would love to pick your brain a little more about Factor and the business side of things, just because, I'm always interested in the funding. But I know we're pretty much out of time, so maybe we can
talk about. I'm down with that because it's important. It's important that artists know about these things. Like bands that are starting out. It's very important that they know that there is support there. Mm-hmm. In fact, just made some changes that is much more attractive than it used to be. I mean, they used to have this thing where they'd only give tour grants to bands that were effectively established. They stopped giving tour support to smaller bands, but that's changed now. They've flipped that decision, and now there's a $5,000 tour grant available to every single band that's registered and has an album out. I think it has to be officially distributed, but that could be Distro Kid. It could be anything, So it's good, and it seems relatively accessible. I think you need like 5 to 8 shows. It has to be in Canada. Can't be out of Canada. And it's a really good new program. I don't know how new it is, but I'm glad it's there. And it's good for the smaller bands that aren't signed, that can go, just want to get to Toronto or they want to get to Vancouver, and they just need a few more extra bucks to make that happen. Mm-hmm. Gas is expensive, and promoters are promoters. They're trying to make it happen, but they're not going to pay you $1,000, $500 to, and 2 hotel rooms and, dinner. That's not going to happen when you're starting. So getting the foot in the door is key, and meeting other bands in these cities and making friends with these other bands. That's how all that DIY stuff still works, even to this day, 30 years later. You need friends in other cities, and then you bring them to your hometown, and then you start this network. Get your ass up to Pooza Fest. 180 bands played every year, most of which have never been heard of. Mm-hmm. It's that's not true, but you know what I mean. Like to the average person, they don't know 160 of the 180 bands playing. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of festivals like that is that there's so many people involved. They all just want to talk. They all want to do the same thing you want to do: make new connections, make new friends, find new places to play, and enjoy music. So if you're starting out, that's a huge one to look at. It's the easiest one I think there is to get. Most of the provinces have programs too, but they can be harder to get and longer the turnaround time. And they have just they have different requirements. This is specifically focused on bands to get them started and get them on their first national tour. Okay,
you mentioned turnaround times. Any idea like how far should a band, again, like a new band who might not even be thinking about this, how far should they be, how soon should they be applying or looking into this?
I would try like as soon as it's booked. I mean, if you could do it, if you do it 3 months in advance, you'll know before you hit the road. You might not have the money, but you'll know if you'll get it. Okay. Which in ways is pretty good too, because then you go show that to someone and be like, "Hey man, give me some money. I got this." It could be a bank, but it doesn't have to be. And you get a few bucks. So I would try to as soon as your tour is booked, if you have 5 shows or more, take a look at this program. I think it's under the live performance. You got to get an artist profile up on Factor. You have to create an applicant profile, which is you. Then you have to create an artist profile, which is your band. Then you have to apply for a live performance thing for your band. So I would give it 3 months.
3 months. Okay. And there's a couple boxes you got to check. Okay. So applicant profile, and then followed by your band profile.
That'd be it. And then you do the application. And there's tons of people there at Factor that are so willing to help. They're absolutely fantastic. The people that deal with this stuff, they're saints. I love them. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to be nice to them because they need to remain impartial, but I can't help it. They're amazing.
Well, I like working Music New Brunswick. I love being able to approve when a band comes through with a nice application and they've got shows booked. And then Music New Brunswick, you can apply even after the tour. So if you're hitting the road and then you come back, and assuming there's funds available, you can apply after the fact. And it can really change some bands. Like some bands are obviously super excited to find out they're getting 2, 3, 4 $4,000, to help pay
That's
the bills.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know a band called Peanut Butter Sundae?
Oh yeah, they're wicked. Yeah.
Love those guys, man.
Yeah.
We booked them at the label. We have a booking wing as well, so we booked them.
Okay.
And we were, I know their manager is either involved with Music New Brunswick or he is very aware of what it is.
Trevor probably, right? Trevor,
yes.
Yeah.
But we had to balance between New Brunswick provincials and Quebec provincials because they sing in French. Quebec actually has a couple grants for them. It's just touring grants. It's not production or marketing, but they can access this Francophone art touring grant because they're from out of province and sing in French.
Cool.
Which is really good because we need, Quebec needs more stuff like that. Good punk bands. There's so few of. Okay, that's mean. There's quite a few good ones, but there's so few that are at that level where they're touring outside of Quebec, singing in French because you're pretty limited, Yeah. But Peanut Butter is kind of like stepped beyond that in ways. And, Petit Beliveau and stuff like that too. That teamwork that they have is pretty cool.
That's wicked. Yeah, Peanut Butter Sundae. They've been charting here. I've been spinning them a lot, actually, just by coincidence. Their new record, like The Weekend, that song specifically, The Weekend. And I'm hoping to get them on the show, actually, at some point. So,
I'll bug them.
Yeah, do it. Okay, do it. Yeah. Tell them to hit me up.
Great. No, they're really fun people. What happened? Okay, so JP from our office started working with them, and they were supposed to play Festival d'été de Québec last summer or 2 summers ago. I can't remember. And they were on a tiny stage. I think they were at like the opening gate stage, which is not really a stage. And they were supposed to do their set. And Green Day was playing the mega stage, like 90,000 people.
Yeah.
Bad Religion couldn't get into the country. I don't know what happened. They canceled. I think it was Bad Religion. Might be Pennywise. One of those two. And so Mathieu Gagné, who's also a friend of our label, he runs hospitality for a lot of these festivals. He's involved with Pouza. He's been around for ages. He just sends a text to me and JP and says, "Hey man, we know you guys are around. Shut a cancellation. Do you have anybody that would want to play the main stage?" I was like, "What about these guys?" And JP says, "What about Peanut Butter Sundae?" And Gagné is like, "I love that name. I'm just going to see what happens." He's only the hospitality guy. He's like,
yeah,
there's still something, but he's not production. And he goes in and I guess he presents the band name. And I guess Green Day overheard the band name and he said it. And they're like, "That's hilarious. Let's do them." So they got to be direct support to Green Day with 90,000 people. The stage was huge. It's bigger than anything I've ever played. Not even close. I mean, and they were just blown away. And they had a great show. They just made the most of it.
Yeah. Wow.
They went for it. What an experience. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Step up to the plate if you get the chance, right? That's amazing.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, that's a cool little connection because the Acadian scene out here, one of the best things about me starting to work with Music New Brunswick, which is just 2 years ago I got the job, is that I didn't really understand how strong the Acadian or Francophone scene was in New Brunswick and in Nova Scotia too. And some of the artists I've interviewed, they talk about going up to Quebec and they kind of that's kind of how they make their living is playing tours and stuff in Quebec.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely good for them. There, like I said, there is a market for that. And, whether it's French, any kind of music that's Francophone is going to get support in Quebec. Mm-hmm. But for me, having good, fun punk rock is a little more rare. There are some great punk bands here that are singing French, like Conflit Majeur and Capable, just to name a couple. But it's nice to have more.
Does Stomp Records mainly do Anglophone music, or have you ever dipped into the Francophone side of things?
Well, we do. We have, Capable is actually on the label. They're a Francophone punk band. Okay. We have Crash Rock from Jonquière, which is also Francophone. They have a new album coming out in November. And then we do some weirder stuff. We actually put out the new Emile Bilodeau album, which is acoustic folk pop. I don't really know what you want to call that, but It's very charismatic. He's the Riot. He's funny. It looks like it's his own thing because we didn't put our label on it because it doesn't make sense to have Stomp on that. It almost would hurt him, I think, if it was viewed as such. But we've become friends and we're working for his team behind the scenes. So we are branching out, doing different things.
Okay.
Right now I'm looking for some new Canadian punk right now or ska. And I really want to find, I don't know, this is just recent. I want something like angular, like aggressive, angular, yet fun music. Because I think it's out there. I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah,
you know?
It is kind of. I know what you mean. It is kind of hard to find that super aggressive.
But also like by angular,
catchy.
I mean kind of like a healthy shot of Devo in there, you know. So we'll see, because I've been digging what's happening in the UK right now with bands like Snapped Ankles, and I don't know if you heard of them, and other bands similar to that, where I'm just like, man, they're mixing some really cool stuff, and I'm pretty sure that's here. There's a band called DVTR from Quebec that I really like.
Okay,
they have something like that similar going on. It's kind of in that garage psych, but mixed in with aggressive Devo beats. So it's kind of cool.
Have you heard of Motherhood from Fredericton? They tour quite a bit, but
I'll check that out. I'm gonna check that one in.
Motherhood, their latest record, Perfect Mind or Perfect Thunder Mind.
Oh, cool, man! Just typing that in.
Yeah, do it. They kind of got that. Their first single has a strange name. Starts with the letter G.
Gold Rock from Canada East Coast.
Gold Block.
Cool, man. I'll check that out.
Yeah. Check them out. They're really cool.
The point is, I'm still looking for music. So if you have music, send it to me, man. I'll check it out. We can't put everything out, obviously.
Yep.
But I'm always excited to hear music. If you got
I'll send an email. Maybe I'll send you a list of cool bands I like around New Brunswick. So.
Yeah, do that. Awesome. I'll totally check them out. That's cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Matt. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know it's a big day with the tickets going on sale, and it's exciting.
Thanks for having me. You know, maybe at times if we do end up signing a New Brunswick band, I'll ask you about how they can get support, because I know we can't do it for them. But thank you very much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And don't forget to hit up Area 506. And
I'm going to do it. Okay, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks, Matt.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. And that was Matt from the Planet Smashers, and also owner of Stomp Records. Pretty cool chat, eh? Lots going on. So it's October 3rd right now, but of course you're going to be hearing this after the fact, but tickets are going to be on sale for the Stomp Records 30th anniversary shows across the country. Pretty stacked lineup. You can obviously just go on their Instagram or their webpage to find out more information about that. And how cool would that be? Maybe they'll sign a New Brunswick band, and maybe they'll end up out here in, St. John at Area 506. Dropping names, I guess. Ray, I guess I'm going to send you a little text here. And, not that we know each other that well, but I'm going to be like, hey, you should maybe keep an eye out for Matt from Stomp Records / the Planet Smashers, and maybe get a few of those bands at Area 506 in 2026. All right. Thanks a lot for listening to the Radical Fabulatorium. I have been your host, John Adamian. Peace.